Pacifica Radio, I'm Christina Onnested. Tensions between Israel and Lebanon continue to ratchet up over the war in Gaza. Israel's foreign minister warned a decision on an all-out war with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon is coming soon, as the two countries have traded cross-border attacks since October 7th. Escalation looms despite international diplomacy. Hezbollah, an Iranian ally, is a more powerful adversary than Hamas in Gaza. It's estimated to have between 30,000 and 50,000 fighters and a similar number in reserves, upwards of 200,000 unguided missiles and rockets and attack and reconnaissance drones. Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah warned of an escalation. His comments translated by Al Jazeera.
The enemy knows that there will not be a single place inside Israel out of reach for our missiles. There will not be missiles launched sporadically, but targeted missiles that will hit the Zionist entity. And our evidence? Our drone videos. We already have a bank of real targets.
He also said Wednesday the European island of Cyprus could also be a target if it allows Israel's military to use it. Troops have already trained there. The Israeli military's top spokesman said Hamas cannot be eliminated. Spokesman Daniel Hagari told Israel's Channel 13 today Hamas is an ideology, and unless there's an alternative, it will persist. He said it was throwing sand in people's eyes to say Israel will make Hamas disappear. His comments spurred the Israeli government's recommitment to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's vows to eliminate Hamas. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera is reporting Israel's launched tank, plane, and drone strikes in western Rafah. This is Gaza's health ministries reporting more than 37,400 Palestinians have been killed since October 7th. A new climate study finds human-caused climate change has made deadly heat waves in the U.S., Mexico, and Central America 35 times more likely and 2.5 degrees hotter. Its findings from the World Weather Attribution, a collection of international scientists that says similar extreme temperature episodes the U.S. and Mexico are experiencing have become 4 times more likely since the year 2000. It warns if humans continue to fill the atmosphere with fossil fuel emissions, similar periods of heat like the heat dome millions in the U.S. Midwest and East Coast are experiencing will occur even more frequently. Last month, Mexico experienced its hottest day ever at 124 degrees. San Angelo, Texas hit a record 111 degrees this month on June 4th. The World Weather Attribution said on social media in the U.S., extreme heat currently imposes an economic burden of $100 billion annually, a figure projected to rise to $500 billion by the year 2050. Co-author of the report, Karina Izquierda with the Red Cross Red Crescent Climate Center, said the addition of heat caused by climate change has been the difference between life and death for many people, as well as reducing emissions. Governments and cities need to become more resilient to heat. Tropical storm Alberto, the season's first named storm, has moved inland over northeast Mexico, bringing heavy rains. The storm is also expected to hit southern Texas. It spurred tropical warnings covering most of the western Gulf of Mexico's coastline from Texas to Veracruz. The families of people killed in 2 Boeing 737 MAX plane crashes are calling on the federal government to fine the aircraft manufacturer nearly $25 billion and bring criminal charges against executives in charge of the company at the time of the 2018-2019 crashes. A lawyer for the family said in a letter to the Justice Department Wednesday a large fine is justified because Boeing committed the deadliest corporate crime in U.S. history. A total of 346 people died in 2 crashes involving the Boeing 737 MAX jets. The Justice Department last month determined Boeing violated a 2021 settlement that shielded the company from prosecution for fraud for allegedly misleading regulators who approved its 737 MAX jets. Prosecutors have until July 7th to decide if they will prosecute. Louisiana has become the first state to require the 10 Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom. Republican Governor Wednesday signed the bill mandating the displays. Civil rights groups, including the American Civil Liberties Union, have promised a lawsuit. Russia's President Vladimir Putin signed agreements with Vietnam's President To Lam today during a state visit to the island nation. The agreements aim to bolster further cooperation in education, science, and technology. It comes a day after Putin traveled to North Korea to bolster relations, signing a defense pact. None of the agreements made public in Vietnam pertain to defense. Vietnam's president said other deals were not made public. I'm Christina Onnested reporting for Pacifica Radio.